is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Oh, we are live tonight from St. Petersburg, Florida. An unusual setting for this series at Tropicana Field. It's the opening game of a three-game series, the Rangers and the Astros, with a lot left on the line for both these teams heading into this final month of the regular season. With the ongoing flooding and devastation in Houston, it has displaced this three-game series to St. Petersburg, and we welcome you in. Candidly, baseball conversation a little awkward, a little forced today, is the devastation, the heartbreak in the south part of the state has been on everyone's minds, and of course particularly those of the Houston Astros. That doesn't mean we can't play baseball. We hope that tonight will be a welcome diversion for those suffering back at home and going through the heartache of this thing. There are ways we can all help, by the way, as Houstonians forced into the George R. Brown Convention Center, helped out by the Red Cross, and you can help as well by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 9099. By doing that, you'll make a $10 donation. Your donation will help those first responders and help people recovering from this disaster. That is the scene and the setting for this one tonight. But the reality, Tom, is this game and these games in this series have meaning for both these teams.
Yeah, they definitely do, Dave. The Rangers dug themselves a little bit of a hole with the sweep against them in Oakland. There's only 32 games remaining. The Rangers are playing against some very good teams in the last month. They're 3 games behind in the wild card race, 3 games behind Minnesota, 2 games behind the Angels, and there's 6 teams battling for that second wild card. 16 of the next 19 are against teams ahead of them. The Astros and the Yankees are formidable opponents. The big series will be 2 series at home against the Angels and Seattle. Both of those teams are ahead of them in the wild card race. From the Houston standpoint, they need to get Carlos Correa back because they're 3 games under 500 without him. They've got a 5-game lead on Cleveland and the Red Sox for home field advantage. So they got a good lead, but they'll feel a lot better with Correa back in the lineup.
And no doubt the spirit today, a cordial one between these two teams as we got here this afternoon. I think everybody relieved just to be playing baseball and can put their attentions on that for tonight. From the Rangers standpoint, they get Joey Gallo back tonight as well. A welcome addition in the heart of the order. He'll be in the spotlight with John Radigan when we come back. Are just over 1 month away, and this year's American League wild card race is a jumbled mess. The Texas Rangers are in the thick of it, just 3 games back. This week, they face their rival, the American League West Division leading Astros, as the Silver Boot Series continues. Well, this is Rangers baseball presented by AT&T, and once again coming to you live from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, opening game of this series. We mentioned Joey Gallo back and in the heart of the order for the Rangers. That's good news, and for more on that and our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, we check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, no doubt, Dave, and there's a lot of fans here, Rangers fans as a matter of fact, who will be happy to have Joey Gallo back in the lineup. I've been impressed so far by the crowd that has shown up here for this game that, of course, was just put together on very short order. So fans are here, and in our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, we shine that light on Joey Gallo. And what a time it has been for Joey Gallo in the month of August. Of course, he hasn't played since August the 20th, but in his 18 games before going on the 7-day disabled list, he had 10 home runs and 18 RBIs. It's not just his power that the Rangers have missed either. Gallo has walks in seven straight games, and it's the longest streak of walks by any Ranger since 2011 when Kinsler had 7 in a row. You see the numbers for Gallo in the month of August. It's clearly been the best month of the season for him, thus the best month of his career. Joey Gallo will be awfully welcome back in that Rangers lineup, and Joey Gallo won't mind seeing tonight's pitcher. In fact, there are 6 Rangers who have hit home runs against Mike Fiers this year. Joey Gallo's came on May the 2nd. 5 other Rangers have taken him deep too. See who's going to do that tonight. We get to the starting lineups in the first pitch next on Fox.
Brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Welcome back. We're just about ready to go in the opening game of this 3-game series. The Rangers and the Astros from Florida. We are in St. Petersburg. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Texas Rangers. 64 wins, 66 losses, 15 games out in the West Division. It's Chu up top. Mazzara in there batting third. We mentioned Joey Gallo's return in the 5 spot in the order. Odor's dropped to 8th today. And Robinson Chirinos doing the catching and batting 9th.
Mike Fiers will be taking the mound for the Astros. He's been one of their most consistent starters all season long. We'll look at our Ford pitch arsenal for Mike. He'll throw a fastball about 46% of the time, a cutter about 12% of the time. That is a fastball. But then an equal amount of changeups, curveballs, and just a few sliders. But he's got a good changeup, and he's been a strikeout pitcher. He's struck out 137 in 140 innings. Leads the Astros in starts and innings pitched.
So he's ready to go. Chu stands in, and off we go tonight. This one fouled away for strike one. Tom, I got to say, I'm impressed. How about the group of fans who have shown up on very short notice tonight?
Yeah, I don't think there was any way to know exactly what the crowd would look like, but I'm very impressed. There's more people here than I thought would be here, and that's a credit to the fans in the St. Petersburg, Tampa area.
Chu takes off the corner. It's 1-1. Well, as we mentioned, meaningful games for both these teams. Fiers has been a workhorse for the Astros this year. 8 wins, 8 losses. His 26th start of the year. And he jumps ahead of Chu. Fiers, the guy the Astros got in a deal at the trade deadline in 2015. Part of a deal with the Milwaukee Brewers. This is his 65th start as an Astro. Stands 1-2. Now Chu, the on-base machine today in the leadoff spot. 10 for 30 on this trip with hits in 9 of his last 11 games. The average has risen about 12 points over that time. And he's worked the count to 2-2. Rangers, and for that matter, the Astros, spent yesterday in Arlington. Both of them wrapping up West Coast series on Sunday afternoon. And then last night traveled out here to Tampa Bay. Strike 3 called. Chu is the first out of the ballgame.
Take a look at the Astros defense for tonight's ball game. They've got an excellent center fielder in Jake Marisnick. Marwin Gonzalez can play anywhere on the field. He's in left field tonight. George Springer, call him the Spider-Man. He's a great defensive player in right field. Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve up the middle. J.D. Davis is at third. Yuri Gurriel is at first, and Evan Gattis is behind the plate.
A breaking ball from Fiers, and Andrews takes strike 1. One away, nobody on. Joe West, by the way, our plate umpire tonight. And worth pointing out, those guys had to travel. Our umpiring crew today had to scramble and get here as well. West, Mark Wegner, Chris Siegel, and Alan Porter, our 4-man crew. Two and 1. Well, Fiers 32 years old. Since being acquired from Milwaukee, he leads the Astros in innings pitched and starts, third in wins. It's been a very productive, very good acquisition for them.
One thing I've noticed from the fans so far, I'm sure there's a few Astros fans here, just like there's a few Ranger fans, but I think the Tampa fans are treating the Astros like they are the home team. They're cheering for every pitch. So that's good for the Astros. That's nice to have that slight advantage, I guess.
Chopper, third base. Davis with a good arm, and Andrews retired, 2 away.
I think there's actually a better response for that out than there would have been in Houston if we were playing in Houston, and maybe a better response than there would have been if it was the Rays we were playing right now. It's almost like they're rising to the occasion to treat the Astros like the home team.
Yeah, pretty cool. There was a decent amount of enthusiasm today
around town about this series, and you know, you're asking a lot of folks to just sort of pick up their daily schedule and come on out. But I think the tickets were $10, first come, first serve, wherever you want to go, and a nice group is really taking advantage of that tonight. Nomar Mazara. Nomar fouls off strike one from Fires.
Yeah, it is. It's a great opportunity. You're not getting to watch your home team, but you're watching two very good major league teams, and you can grab a seat for $10 that you normally wouldn't be able to purchase for anywhere near $10. So that is nice.
One strike pitch, and Nomar lifts it third base side, but that one will end up in the seats.
And it's funny to look at the seats some people have chosen. Obviously, there's more people between first base and third base, but there's still random people down the line. It's almost like they are hoping to get a foul ball down the line. And there's people in home run territory in the front row probably hoping to do the same thing.
Fires misses high. Yeah, some people obviously playing the odds a little bit. There's a gentleman down the right field line all by himself way down there. And maybe he knows something the rest of us don't. Some of that enthusiasm we were talking about. The 1-2. Bouncer right side. And Altuve is there for it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Fires. So he looks good out of the gates, and now it's going to be up to Martin Perez. Yeah, a lot of similar sentiments out there today. Not just here, of course, all over the state of Texas. As we move along here to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Houston Astros. George Springer up at the top, and that is when they are most successful. Bregman bats second. And then the American League's most dangerous hitter really these days. Best well-rounded hitter, Jose Altuve third. Gurriel, Gaddis, Beltran also in the heart of the order.
And it'll be Martin Perez on the mound for the Rangers. Martin has won his last 4 starts. His pitch arsenal brought to us by Ford shows his fastball averaging out at about 94 miles an hour. One of the hardest throwing left-handed starters. He throws that a lot, 57% of the time. Hopefully we'll see 21% changeups because that's when he's at his best. And he'll mix in the curveball and a slider as well. He's throwing well, and he has been his last 4 starts. He's working quickly, throwing a lot of strikes, and using a nice changeup to complement his fastball.
Oh, his first 2 right in there for strikes to George Springer. 292 hitter. Springer also with big-time power out of that leadoff position, and he lines it foul. This is a guy against whom Martin Perez has to be careful. .29 home runs this season for Springer, and a lot of those out of that leadoff spot. He has 9 leadoff home runs this year. That's a franchise record. He's done it 18 times in his career. High chopper over the mound. Nice high hop, and the hustle throw to first, not in time. Springer with very good speed as well, worth mentioning. Not just power. Overall, very athletic, and that just too much bounce in that one to get him.
Yeah, you could see that coming. It was going to take a high hop. There was going to be difficult for Rugi to get to it quickly, and that slight little inability to get the ball out of his glove caused Springer to be safe. That was going to take a perfect play by Rugi, because Springer gets down the line, and when a guy that can run hits a ball like that, he smells base hit, and he's out of the box about as quick as he could possibly get out of the box. And that shows the speed-power combination. That shows the speed. The statistics, 29 home runs, shows the power. And then he plays right field and throws from right field like a Gold Glover. So there's nothing on the field that he can't do. And his average is better than it's ever been, in the 290s.
And he's at first base with a 2-0 count to Alex Bregman.
So when we toss around 5-tool player probably a little bit too freely, it's not an exaggeration when you talk about it from Springer. Saw his speed. We've seen him play right field. We've seen him throw from right field. We've also seen him hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's 9th in the league with 29 home runs. 10th in the league in on-base percentage. So that guy can play.
And you might guess he plays the game with a real high energy too. I mean, he's an exciting player to watch. There's always something going on with him, and this ball hits sharply into left field. That's a base hit for Bregman. So back-to-back singles to start the bottom of the first for Houston.
Yeah, Springer reminds me of Ian Desmond as far as size, athletic ability, what they bring to the table. And Bregman batting second has been really hot. He was a top 3 pick in the draft just a few years ago, and he settled into the top of the order for the Astros. Been one of their best hitters over the last month or so. Did 16 home runs.
Not a lot of weakness in their lineup in general. When they get a couple of guys going hot, boy, you got to watch out. Springer at second, Bregman at first, and here is Jose Altuve. Well, Altuve, 356 batting average, tops in the American League. Tops in the American League in just about everything. 175 hits. .1-0 from Perez. And he finds a corner. Well, Altuve, if you're going to call it a weakness, I don't know about that. It's just that he puts so many balls in play. He has hit into 18 double plays this year. Now Martin Perez, particularly adept at getting those. Bouncer, third base. Beltre to second, one. The throw to first, double play.
That's some good timing right there, Dave.
Well, we'll take him when we can get him. A 5-4-3 double play.
Yeah, one of the things that comes with double plays, because Altuve can run, is he puts the ball in play a lot, and he hits it hard. If he hits a little chopper, he's going to beat it out, but that ball was hit hard to Adrian, and they didn't have any problem turning it, so that's a nice turn of events for Martin Perez after the first 2 guys reached.
Great job by Perez, and that has always been one of his calling cards, his real strengths. Yulieski Gurriel now, and he takes strike 1. Gurriel had 2 hits and 9 at-bats in their series against the Angels. And watches a strike here.
Good combination. Started him off with a changeup. Gurriel's pretty much likes to hit the first fastball he sees, but he saw a changeup, and then he wasn't ready for the first fastball. He's only walked 16 times, so he's a free swinger. Starting a guy like that off with a changeup is not a bad idea.
Now 1-2 the count on Gurriel. Springer at third base, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score tonight. Great to have you along with us wherever you may be. Perez trying to work out of a little bit of a jam, and his 1-2 pitch just a little bit in. Martin, 26 years old, his 26th start of the season. And he gets a bouncer on the ground, second base. Odor will take care of business, and the inning is done. So a couple of hits to start it off, but the Astros leave a man at third. We go to the second inning, no score. And now it'll be the heart of the order for the Rangers. Beltre, Gallo, and Gomez. Our TXU Energy power player to watch tonight, Adrian Beltre. How about that? 19 straight seasons with at least 20 doubles. Third longest streak all time, with Tris Speaker and Eddie Murray both doing it 20 consecutive years. First pitch on the way to Beltre. And Fires gets it right in there for a strike. Fires with a 1-2-3, top of the first. Beltre watches another.
Fires has not fared well against the Rangers. He's pitched against the Rangers twice, given up 6 home runs in 10 innings. The Rangers have hit him pretty hard.
One and two on Beltre. Adrian has been swinging the bat well lately and hammers this ball but foul. 1-2 the count. He had 3 home runs on our West Coast swing. Beltre on that trip, 3.11 average. Now this was a series that was to be played in Houston. We have moved it to St. Petersburg, Florida. 1-2 pitch. This one lined out toward right center field, slicing away out there from Marisnik, and Beltre is on. Little leadoff hit.
Yeah, the way Fires pitched, Adrian, works against a lot of hitters. Throw some breaking balls down and away, and then with your deceptive fastball, throw it up and try to get the batter to swing at a bad pitch. That doesn't work with Adrian. He yanked a high pitch long and foul, and then took that one into right center field for a base hit. It just goes with everything we've always said about Adrian. There is no way to pitch him. You can get him out occasionally, but not by pitching him a certain way.
Well, he's on for Joey Gallo, and a breaking ball sweeps right through there for a strike. Gallo just reinstated from the 7-day concussion disabled list today. Rangers happy to have him back, placed on that list on August 22nd. He takes another strike. It's 0-2. Gallo ran into trouble in that Sunday game against the White Sox on August 20th when he collided with Matt Bush. Bush still out, not with a concussion though, with a knee injury. 1-2 now to Joey. Now the fans into it, even with the cowbells that you normally hear at Tampa Bay Rays games. Up high, it's 2-2.
Trying to get Joey to swing at that high fastball. Maybe early in the season he might have swung at that pitch. But Joey's shown slow, steady improvement all season long on recognizing pitches and doing a much better job of laying off that high fastball.
A little bit high again. Well, that was closer, but a full count. So fires, jumped ahead 0-2. But tried again and again to get Joey to chase one, and now forced to throw something a little bit better here. Gallo with 35 home runs this year. And he will take ball 4. So a single and a walk, and it's a good start to the second inning for the Rangers. This was the collision we were talking about a couple of weeks ago against the White Sox. 9th inning of that ball game. And it was a little pop-up. Looked harmless enough.
And Joey said exactly what it appeared. He just had no idea that Matt Bush was going to be in on that play. Then he said, looking back on it, it's not as surprising because he's a former shortstop, a great athlete. Not surprising that he would go after it. Most pitchers wouldn't have gone after it. And Joey just was not prepared for that collision.
Carlos Gomez, and he swings through strike 1.
That walk, by the way, extends a walk streak for Joey to 8 games. And when you're going to hit home runs at the rate Joey was hitting home runs, pitchers are going to stop giving you good pitches to hit. Then it becomes even more important not to play into their hand and swing at bad pitches, and that's what Joey's been doing.
His ability, his pitch recognition, his discipline at the plate, those have exploded this year. Carlos Gomez, meanwhile, in a whole 0-2. We've seen this now quite often early on here against Fires. He's done a good job of getting ahead of hitters. Gomez takes low. Now this is what happened with Gallo. He got ahead 0-2 and then really tried to get guys to chase. Beltre wouldn't. Gallo wouldn't, and now we'll see if Gomez does. Now Gomez perhaps a little more likely to go after one. He can be pretty aggressive. Always been a part of his game. One chase out, it's 2-2. Gomez with a .336 on base average, though, so he has been willing to take his walks or whatever the case. 27 walks this year. He's been hit almost as many times, 16 times. Fires having a little trouble agreeing with whatever it is that Gaddis is asking him to do here. Well, they are really struggling getting together. Fires and Gaddis with a brief get together. That's 15 home runs, 15 doubles. Trying to drive in perhaps the game's first run, the 2-2. And this one lined out toward right field. Well struck, but Springer is there. Tagging second, Beltre, and he'll move up. So the fly out by Gomez, but it does get Adrian to third base, one away. Well, join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey by visiting youcaring.com/MLB supports. The Texas Rangers going to donate the proceeds from the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle to the American Red Cross from all the games in this upcoming home series with the Angels. Proceeds will be used for relief for the victims in the Houston area and South Texas from these devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey. Gallo at first, Beltre at third base. Fires, pumps in, strike one to Mike Napoli.
I mentioned the Fires has been a good strikeout pitcher this year, almost a strikeout per inning, 137 strikeouts in 140 innings. And he's been ahead of all three hitters, 0-2, all four hitters 0-1. And so for a strikeout pitcher, that's pretty much what you're looking for, to get ahead 0-2. Yet he hasn't been able to put any of them away. Beltre, Gallo. Gomez had a nice at bat. He was behind in the count. Didn't try to yank the ball. He stayed with it, go back through the middle, hit a bullet, but it was right straight at Springer in right field. Several good at bats against Fires in this inning.
Well, one strike pitch to Napoli, and he swings through it at strike two. And once again, he's gone 0-2 against a Rangers hitter.
4 straight this inning. Now here's where Knapp has to concentrate like Gomez did, try to put the ball in play. They've got the infield back. Only one out. Almost any form of contact is going to get Adrian in.
Pop up first base side and out of play.
Well, it looked like a 2-strike approach, shortened up the stroke a little bit. A guy like Knapp is so strong, he doesn't have to take a huge swing. He makes contact on the barrel of the bat, it's going to jump with any kind of a swing.
Fires and Gaddis trying to come to terms. The 0-2. Runner goes from first. That one is outside. No throw offered. So Joey Gallo with a stolen base. His 7th of the year. 7 tries.
It just underscores what everybody says about Joey. He's just not a big power hitter. He's an athlete. And that's proven by his ability to play left field, third base, first base, and by his base running. Very good base runner with speed that's obviously deceptive.
Now base hit with plate 2, and this one fouled away. Napoli will see another one. A good start to the inning. Beltre with a base hit. Gallo with a walk. Gomez moved Beltre up with his fly out to right field, and another deep at bat here. 1-2 the count to Napoli, 7th place hitter. Fires at 36 pitches already in this one. And pop back behind home plate.
Well, regardless what happens in this at bat, Knapp has extended the at bat by fouling off 3 pitches.
Making it tough on Fiers, who's already thrown 37 pitches. .22 of them this inning.
It battled Fiers despite him getting ahead and in a big way in each of these at-bats. And it's second and third. And Napoli gets another. You can see a sort of look there on Fiers' face after that last one. I'll call it frustration, but it's something close. These at-bats are going to make it more and more difficult for Fiers to go very deep into this game if the Rangers continue to make him work. Well, he is just in complete disagreement with anything Gaddis is putting down right now.
It's not because he's not throwing strikes. He's thrown 2 strikes for every ball. Just the Rangers are making it hard on him. They fouled off a lot of pitches. Definitely not getting any early in the count outs. 7 pitches so far to Knapp in this at bat, and it was 0-2 when he started.
Napoli hitless in his last 13 at bats. His last hit, the home run on Thursday in Anaheim, the 1-2. And that is outside. It'll even the count. In fact, Napoli just 1 hit in his last 22 at bats, and we saw it recently in Oakland. You know, discipline at times seemed to be an issue. Maybe he just wasn't picking it up well in Oakland, but boy, this is a much improved at bat here tonight. Continuing to battle with Beltre at third, Gallo at second. He reaches out and pops this one up. Won't be happy with that. Tough play though, as this one up there in that roof. Springer makes the catch, and really no chance to run on him. So Napoli with a weak fly out to right, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, he got Knapp in that situation, and good going for Fiers. But from Knapp's standpoint, down 0-2 to a strikeout pitcher, he battled. That was a good battle. He made some contact. Wasn't quite far enough to get the run in, but it was still a good battle. Did what he had to do as far as making contact goes. And he definitely made Fiers throw a lot of extra pitches.
Did he ever? So now 2 away, and it's going to be up to Rougned Odor. And what do you know? Strike 1. He's got that down pat. It's not like he's grooving these either. Top of the second inning. Fouled sharply back.
There's 5 straight 0-2 counts this inning, and he's thrown a first pitch strike to every one of the 8 hitters. You wouldn't expect 42 pitches with 2 outs in the second inning with that statistic.
Quite the opposite. Oh, the 0-2. Odor fouls this one back just underneath us.
I'm not sure that's where Fiers was trying to throw that pitch. He got away with one right there. Maybe he was right on that one. You can see the catcher Gaddis raise his glove up and away. And Fiers delivered it right on the inside part of the plate, right in Ruby's wheelhouse, really. I don't think you'll see another one there.
Oh, spiked.
Good job by Gaddis getting in front of that ball.
Kept it just close enough that Beltre would hold third base. Adrian's been down there for a little while now. One-two. They get Odor swinging, and Mike fires. Works himself into, but then out of a little bit of trouble in the second inning. Scoreless after an inning and a half. In this one tonight, as we take a look at our Kubota power stats going to the bottom of the second inning. Well, these two teams squared off not long ago, and in that three-game series, the Rangers rotation 2-1, a .229 earned run average. Did a real nice job last time against a very good Houston offense. Those numbers not trivial, even though they are just a three-game series. Martin Perez worked around a couple of hits of the first inning. Now deals to Evan Gattis. Gets one right in there for a strike. This one off the handle, foul, 0-2. Gattis getting the start behind the plate today. The .273 average, 11 homers, 45 RBIs. He too was recently on the 7-day disabled list for concussions. He was placed on that DL on August 5th, but was removed from the disabled list on Friday. One-two. Look good. That strike three called. Gattis down looking.
I wasn't sure he was going to get the call from Joe West, but it looked like he deserved it. Nice fastball right on the inside corner. Let's take another look. You see the catcher, Robinson Chirinos, put his glove there. Robinson delivered it. Good use of his fastball in that at bat to Evan Gattis.
Well, the former Ranger now switch hitting DH Carlos Beltran. You see his numbers, .238 average, and the on base average a little low this year for Beltran. Ahead 2-0.
Astros offense leads the major leagues in runs, hits, doubles, average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, you name it. If they're not first, they're probably second. It's been a tremendous offensive year. Marwin Gonzalez has been one of the key reasons why.
Ground ball shortstop. Plenty of time for Andrews, and there are 2 away.
The Rangers defense is delivered to you by Demontron RV. Rangers will have Carlos Gomez in center field, Joey Gallo back in the lineup in left, Nomar moves back over into right field, Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor up the middle, Mike Napoli's at first, Adrian Beltre is at third, and behind the plate is Robinson Chirinos.
Well, good to have Gallo back. Now Marwin Gonzalez. 2 away here in the second inning. Gonzalez also in left field in tonight's game, and he takes a strike. So Martin Perez doing a little bit of what Mike Fiers has done tonight, and that is getting that first pitch in there for a strike. Bouncer left side. It'll be a longer throw this time for Andrews, but it completes a 1-2-3 inning for Martin Perez. He looks sharp as we head to the third. And we go to the third inning. Our cold hard facts tonight brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. How about this? 4th time in Rangers history playing at a neutral site, and every time as the visiting team. Played that series against the Blue Jays and also won against Montreal and Puerto Rico, 0-1 and 0-3. And then 2007 played against the Rays, but in Orlando. The wide world of sports, is that right?
Yeah, I remember that series.
Robinson Chirinos leading things off here in the third inning. 9th place hitter out in front of that one. The count 1-1. Now that's that wide world of sports. That's part of the Disney complex out there. It's where the Braves for the longest time have trained during the spring. But that can't accommodate a big league crowd, could it?
No, I think the maximum capacity was between 6,000 and 8,000 maybe, but they had a full house there. And at the time, I don't think the Rays were drawing all that well, and I think they just wanted to do something different, maybe promote the team in Orlando, try to get some fans to come here. I'm not exactly sure the purpose behind it, but for the seats they had, they were all full.
3-1 on Chirinos. No, Chirinos Still working on that hitting streak, longest in the American League. It's 11 games currently, and you see really good numbers during this stretch, nearly a 400 average. And a walk. So the second walk issued by Fiers, lead man on here in the third inning. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's throw it back to Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Now a base hit by Chu out into right field. So a walk and a single. Rangers off and running again in this third inning like they were in the second inning. Let's see if they can do a little more with it this time around.
Yeah, Shin-Soo is gradually starting to find a hole occasionally. It seemed for a while like every ball he hit hard was right at an infielder. But now on this road trip, several times he's found that same hole between the shortstop and the second baseman, who are both pulled around, shading him to pull. So maybe they are starting to even out a little bit for Shin-Soo. He's been 17 for his last 45, hitting over 370 in that time. Has his average up over 260. It's a cut fastball right down the middle of the plate, and you can see the ball go right by Altuve. Bregman was in back at second base.
That was 11th hit on this road trip. He's at first. Chirinos at second. Fires to the plate, and that one in there. It's 0-2 on Andrews. Well, it's the second time through the order now for Mike Fiers. He threw a lot of pitches last inning.
Threw 30 pitches in the second inning.
But he has been effective to this point. Hard ground ball. That one through to right field. Chirinos to third base, but the Rangers will be content going station to station with Springer's arm in right field. No chance of Chirinos being sent to the plate.
I think the Rangers have had a good two-strike approach in this game, and they've needed one because 6 of the last 7 hitters have faced an 0-2 count. Elvis with 2 strikes against him. No stride. He's just trying to hit the ball solidly back up the middle, and he finds that same hole that Chu found between second base and the second baseman. Very good at bat right there for Elvis, down in the count.
Oh no, it was a good start to this inning. Has turned into a fantastic start. Still nobody out. Chirinos, Chu, and Andrews from third to first. Nomar Mazara. And I'll foul this one back. Nomar, the leading RBI man on this team with 83. And Mazara continuing to be one of the tops in the American League. 7th in the American League with those 83 RBIs.
Mazara has been good this year with the bases loaded, 5 for 13.
Well, the shift on Mazara a little bit less pronounced than usual. 1-1.
Texas as a team has not been that good with the bases loaded. They're only hitting .225.
Bregman at shortstop, still on the appropriate side of the bag. So 2 infielders on both sides. Technically the 1-1. That one way inside, gets away. Coming in from the plate, or to the plate rather, Chirinos, and he will score on the wild pitch. Everybody else advances. Now the Rangers get the first run of the game.
Yeah, that ball wasn't that far away from the catcher, so Robinson Showed some pretty good instincts right there, taking off from third base to score. It looked like it was going all the way back to the screen, but I think it must have hit Joe West and popped straight up in the air. The catcher didn't touch it with his glove. It must have hit Joe West in the foot. And Robinson's still able to scamper home.
So there's the first break of the game. Rangers are on the board, and now second and third for Mazzara. And he'll foul this one back out of play. It's 2-2. Omar grounded out in the first inning. 0 for 1 tonight. The other thing that wild pitch does is it removes the threat of a ground ball double play. Mazzara not the quickest down the line.
Yeah, actually a nice outcome right here. If you don't get a base hit, it's hit a ground ball to second.
Oh, they're conceding the run. Infield back deep. That one down in the dirt. Did he go? He did. Joe West rings him up. That's strike 3.
Ground ball to second, scores a run, moves the runner to third.
So third strikeout tonight for Fiers. Brent Strom, pitching coach for the Astros, headed out there and talking things over. This is a big spot with Adrian Beltre coming up.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're talking about Beltre being a 311, 315 hitter and Joey Gallo being a 200 hitter. But to me, if you don't want to pitch to Adrian, you better walk him on purpose and put him at first base, because if you try to pitch around him, you may make the pitch that you want, but he can still hit it. So he's not confined to the strike zone. If he finds something he likes, low, away, up, inside, you name it, he can still put the bat on it and drive in a run.
First pitch, good breaking ball. Nothing better than watching Adrian tiptoe away from one of those. Singled in the second. Chu at third base, Andrews at second. It's 1-1. You see Beltre's all-time standings. 3,032 hits, 26th all-time. The doubles, the home runs, 37th all-time. Can do a lot of those numbers right here. Continues to climb up all those charts. A great year for him, despite that disabled a stint that cost him 51 games at the start of the year. 1-1. Bouncer third base. Good backhand stop. The long throw to first is in time. Well, they get Beltre, but he drives in a run. Chu scores from third. Andrews now is at third with 2 away, and it's 2-0.
Oh, very nice play by J.D. Davis. He couldn't wait for that ball. He had to charge it. He's playing back, and it's not going to be a good hop either, and he knew it. Somehow he was able to make that look easy, but that was a tough hop that he backhanded, and then on the run made a good throw over to first base too. But Rangers do pick up a run. Beltre made contact, put the ball in play, got that RBI.
So now there are 2 away. Andrews at third, and Joey Gallo has just launched one way out there to center field, and that one is gone.
It didn't go that far, but it almost hit the roof. That thing was in the air for a long time. I thought it was going to go off the sign in the back of the seats. Looked like he hit against the Mets. Had no idea where it was going to come down, but he just knew it was going to be up in the air for a long time. Well, the Rangers get to Fiers this inning with a long ball, just like they had in the first 2 starts that he's had against the Rangers this year. Fastball away, which doesn't really matter whether it's in, out, up and down. If he gets the barrel of the bat on it. He got underneath it and popped it up, but it still went 400 feet.
It looked like he hit that one off the end of the bat.
Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he even hit it on the good part of the barrel.
Man, that was impressive. His 36th home run of the year, good for 2 more runs. A 4-0 Rangers lead, and now the 1-0 to Gomez. He tried to hold off. He did. 2 balls and no strikes. Carlos flied out in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. This is just Gomez's 3rd game back from the disabled list. Gets this one slowly on the ground, shortstop. Plenty of time for Bregman, and it ends the inning, but the Rangers score 4 runs in the 3rd inning. The big blow, Joey Gallo. First day back off the DL, and he makes it 4-0. Rangers with the lead, and feeling a little bit relieved about that. And speaking of relief, join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of this devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. Go to youcaring.com/MLB supports. Now the Texas Rangers going to donate the proceeds for the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle, their upcoming series this weekend with the Angels, and those proceeds will be used for relief for the victims in the Houston area and South Texas. It has just been an awful story, this terrible storm, and part of the reason we are here in St. Petersburg. 4-0 Rangers lead. And J.D. Davis just made a real nice play last inning and leads things off here at the bottom of the 3rd for Houston. Bouncing ball shortstop. Andrews has been busy over there tonight. 1 away.
Well, that's a good thing. Last 4 outs have gone to Elvis. Last 3 outs have gone to Elvis. There was a strikeout to Gaddis, and then there was 2 other ground balls, 1 to 3rd, 1 to 2nd. Every out tonight, other than a strikeout, has resulted from a ground ball, and that's something you'd love to see from Martin.
Well, he has made huge improvements that way lately. It was a weird year the way this one began. Left-handers were hitting him well, wasn't getting ground balls the way he normally did. All those things have turned around though as he pumps one in for a strike to Jake Marisnick. Marisnick batting 9th for the Astros, right at league average in on-base percentage. A little bit of power, 16 home runs this year. Ahead 2-1. Perez has retired 6 consecutive hitters, accounting for 7 outs. He's fallen behind Marisnick 3 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 3rd, Rangers got the scoring started in the top of the inning. A 2-run homer capping that 4-run frame, a 2-run blast by Joey Gallo, who told us, I guess it was 2 days ago, he felt like it might take a day or two in the lineup to get that rhythm, that timing back. I guess not. Jumps right in today.
It didn't take him long.
And there's ball 4. Marisnick walks. And he'll turn the lineup back over to the top.
Joey Gallo's home run went 415 feet. And even though it went sky high in the air, it still came off the bat at 110 miles per hour. And the launch angle, for people that are interested in that, was 35 degrees. Obviously 35 degrees results in a sky high fly ball.
That thing was way up there, and you worry about those catwalks when you're in this ballpark and the ball gets that high in the air. Springer fouls off strike 1. Springer had that infield hit in the first inning, a slow, very high bouncer over the mound. And a hole here, 0-2. We mentioned it up at the top of the broadcast. Great power, great speed. He has been an RBI man at the top of the order as well. 71 RBIs coming into tonight. And that was the difference last year for this Astros team. They got off to a bad start last season. And then A.J. Hinch put George Springer in the leadoff spot. That was like mid to late May. Since that time, taking the rest of last season and then this year, they have been the best team in baseball with him in that leadoff spot. 0-2. Down in the dirt.
One thing Springer has done this year is he has dramatically cut down on his strikeouts. He's probably going to strike out 120 times. Last year he struck out 178 times. That's pretty much what the Astros as a team have done. In the foot where that slider looked like.
Frustrating for Perez. Got ahead 1-2.
If you go back a few years, for a number of years, 2 or 3 years in a row, they led the major leagues in strikeouts. They were a team that struck out at an alarming rate. This year, it's exactly the opposite. They've completely turned that around to where they have the fewest amount of strikeouts in the major leagues. And that number is dramatic. The Rangers have struck out 1,183 times. They've only struck out, coming into the game, 878 times. That's a difference of 300 strikeouts. And that's probably about what the Astros, the rate that they struck out all those years was about the same. At the end of the season, they're going to be 300 to 400 strikeouts less than they were in those years where they led baseball in strikeouts. That's change in personnel. Obviously, that helps. They traded some people or gotten rid of some people that struck out a lot, but it's also internal, and George Springer's a great example. He's going to cut his strikeouts by probably over 50 this year from what they were last year.
One and one. That just seems almost impossible if they could turn, you know, as you point out, a little bit of different personnel, but the guys like Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Marwin Gonzalez, Marisnick, I mean, these are all guys who have been with his team all these years.
Yeah, and one of the changes has been the addition of Bregman to the team. Bregman is a guy that doesn't strike out very much. He's going to strike out less than 100 times. Altuve doesn't strike out very much. Springer has cut his way down. And right now, they don't have anybody on their team who struck out 100 times.
Amazing turnaround for them. It's now a swing and a miss.
The Rangers, by contrast, have 5 guys who have struck out at least 100 times, and some of them way over 100 times.
One out here. Astros will head out to have a quick word with Martin Perez. Jeff Bannister and the Rangers on the road. They knew they were going to be on the road this week. It was to be in Houston. Instead, here in St. Petersburg, a lot of conversation today, the last couple of days, about all the devastation, the storms in Houston. And for Jeff Bannister, it's very personal. Mom, sister, so many relatives and friends in the middle of that storm. But he did tell us today, so far, everybody doing all right. 1-2 pitch. Open it up. Doug Brocale, pitching coach. His home and his family back in Houston, in the middle of it right now as well. Two. It's a full count. But that was the talk today. We came out here to the ballpark today. We're getting ready for a big game, an important game for both teams. But there was conversations with managers or with individual players about their particular situations and how they're holding up, and especially on the Houston side, where so many of them have wives and children and the like back at home. They can't get them out. 3-2. Lined out toward right field. That's a base hit for Bregman. Around third base is Marisnick. He'll score. Into third base, Springer. So Bregman drives home the first Astros run, and it's a 4-1 game.
Well, it wasn't much in the way of a hit. Hit it right off the end of the bat and just blooped it into right field. But after Martin had been cruising, getting the first out in the third inning quickly, the walk to Marisnick batting ninth, and then the hit by pitch of Springer kind of sets up a big inning. A little blooper scores a run, makes it first and third. And a third scoreless innings for Martin before that run scored.
Now he gets Jose Altuve. Altuve rolled into that double play in the first, and Martin Perez would love something similar here with one out and Bregman over at first base. 19 times that Altuve has now bounced into a twin killing. Martin Perez over 100 times in his career that he has induced one. 2-0. In fact, 102 double plays in his career. Well, there is Doug Brocale. Chirinos out there as well to talk things over. Runners on the corners, one out. Those double plays for Martin Perez, fifth most in club history. Bobby Witt next on that list. Bobby Witt had 137 double plays. Those two have turned so many of them for Martin. Best hitter in the American League at the plate, Altuve, 356 average. Good power. Bouncer up the middle, and that one knocked down, but nobody going to get out on that one. Springer in. Altuve will get an infield hit, and it's a 4-2 game.
Yeah, the only chance there was if Rugi somehow could have backhanded that ball and flipped it out of his glove to Elvis, who would have been coming across the bag. But without Tuve running, run was probably going to score anyway. Might have been able to get one out, but that was a tough play.
Well, the other thing on that play that you worry about is when Martin Perez extended his hand as if to try and barehand it. Obvious natural reaction for so many pitchers, but always so dangerous. That gets you on the finger, you're more than likely done. So Bregman at second, Altuve at first base. A bouncer, third base, and that one threw into left field. Bregman stopped at third base. I don't want to challenge Gallo's arms. That scouting report is out, and the bases are loaded.
Well, not much in the way, again, not much in the way of hard hit balls. But the hole was dug with a walk to Marisnick and the hit by pitch for Springer. That just kind of set the inning up. Blooper by Bregman, an infield hit by Altuve, and a dribbler by Gurriel that finds a hole between third and short. Mentioned that the Rangers had not hit well with men in score with bases loaded. Houston, on the other hand, has been a good team with the bases loaded. They're hitting .357 with the bases loaded.
Gaddis bounces one shortstop. Andrews to second one. The relay in time double play. Oh, there is that double play to end it. A 6-4-3. Martin Perez allowed a couple of runs, but gets out of the bases loaded jam thanks to a little help from his friends.
Astros, as we welcome you back to St. Petersburg, Florida, and Mike Napoli steps in to take his licks now against Mike Fiers. And Napoli has experience with what the Rangers are all experiencing today, and that is a neutral site game caused by a natural disaster. You see the other instances of that. The Astros, of course, did it for Hurricane Ike back in 08. In 07, it was snow that forced Mike Napoli and his Angels to Milwaukee with the Cleveland Indians, and they played a neutral site series there because of snow. And so obviously Knapp says it's always a strange sensation, and in fact he was in the home clubhouse. The Rangers are using the home clubhouse. He was in the home clubhouse here for the first time ever today, guys.
Yeah, thanks, John. It was very weird to be in that clubhouse today. The other one, of course, 2004, and that was when Hurricane Ivan moved the Marlins and the Expos to Chicago. U.S. Cellular Field, the 2-0 pitch, and a strike on Napoli. It was an odd sensation today showing up here. And it's probably, there's no doubt, confusing for a lot of folks looking on, maybe just checking in, to see the Rangers wearing their home whites on the road and seeing the Astros, who are the home team for the series, wearing their grays and their batting practice tops. The Astros they were headed out on a 3-day trip.
Yeah, they don't have them.
Full count on Napoli. They were going to Anaheim. It was Players Weekend, so they didn't even have the regular road jerseys. They had those funky nickname jerseys. And so this is all they could really cobble together, and that's all they're going to be able to cobble together while they play as the home team here for these three, and probably over the weekend against the Mets. A 6-game homestand here of sorts. And Scott Napoli, that's ball 4, so a leadoff walk in this 4th inning.
Yeah, I don't think Fiers is destined to be in this game a whole lot longer. Just is having a hard time. And what he hasn't really had a hard time getting ahead of the hitters. He's just had a hard time putting them away after being ahead. It's caused him to throw 72 pitches already in the 4th inning. And this is a guy that, if you look at the last 8 times an Astros starter has gone 7 innings or more, 5 of those 8 times it's been Fiers, but not today.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a surprising number.
Pick, but you know, Keuchel's been on the disabled list, McCullers been on the disabled list, and he's kind of been the most consistent starter for him.
Bouncer first base. Gurriel's throw to second, a slow one, and Odor able to beat it out at first. Gurriel hesitated there a little bit.
Yeah, he had a shot if he threw him a fastball. Instead, he threw him a changeup.
So it's a fielder's choice. Odor is on the 3-6 putout.
Yeah, pretty good pitch to hit. Ruby just got on top of it. Ruby's 1 for his last 20. 1 for his last 23.
Well, he is on now with 12 stolen bases, and Robinson Chirinos, who walked last inning, stands in. Chirinos, I'd like to mention, with that 11-game hitting streak. There's a note today before the game that we received that Major League Baseball made a scoring change from the game the Rangers played against the Detroit Tigers on August 16th. There was an 8th inning play, originally scored a double for Robinson Chirinos. They changed it to an error. And the reality is that doesn't affect his hitting streak because he had another hit in that game. So that's it was kind of a cool little note, only because it didn't hurt the hitting streak. He had a multi-hit game that day. So disappointed, no doubt, to lose that double. But still working a good long stretch right now. He's got Odor at first. And shoots this one to a wide open right side. That's a base hit. Nobody at home over there. And Chirinos goes the opposite way. It's a 12-game hitting streak.
Well, that's a good spot to hit that little jam shot because there's no one there to catch it. Good pitch by Fiers. He ran that fastball. Good movement. Tailed right in on the fists. But Robbie's able to fight it off. Instead of a little pop up to second, it's a base hit to right.
So Chirinos and Odor out there now for Shin-Soo Choo. Fiers had a 1-2-3 first inning. And since then has dealt with quite a few Rangers base runners.
Shin-Soo 1 for 2 in this game, has been swinging the bat well. Over 370 in his last 45 at bats. Strange thing is he hasn't walked in his last 10 games. Very unusual for him.
Shoots this one out to left field. That's a base hit. Odor being waved. He'll score easily. And it's a 5-2 game. So Choo with a multi-hit game, and he drives in another Rangers run.
Fought off a pitch inside, kind of like Robinson did. A little bit closer to the barrel of the bat, though, than the one Robinson hit. Falls into left center field for an RBI.
Now Elvis. He takes ball 1. Talked about some of the Astros hitters who have had trouble with double plays. That's been the case too for Elvis Andrus. Let's try and stay out of that here. Ahead 2-0. Elvis has grounded out to third. He's also singled to right field. He has scored a run.
It'll be the 80th pitch for Fiers.
In there for strike 1 and 2 to Elvis. Nomar Mazara waiting on deck. Playing in the 4th inning of this one tonight. Opening game of this 3-game series. Rangers came into play 3 games back of the Twins in pursuit of that second wild card position. 1-2. It's off the plate. Astros, meanwhile, they have commanded the American League West all summer. They have a 13-game lead coming into play tonight, and a 5-game lead overall for the best record in the American League. Popped back out of play by Andrus. It stays 2-2.
Elvis is trying to do the same thing he did the last time up with 2 strikes. Is go back through the middle. Don't try to pull the ball. He hit that sharp ground ball into right field with 2 strikes his last time up. And just because that's your goal doesn't mean you're not going to be able to pull the ball if you get a pitch inside. A lot of guys can try to hit the ball back through the middle and still pull it if it's a good pitch to pull.
Shoots this one out toward right field. Springer racing back. He looks up, and that one is over his head. Chirinos is in. Chu goes to third. It's a double for Elvis Andrus. Rangers lead it 6-2.
Well, Elvis is becoming the same kind of hitter that Michael Young was. The kind of guy that is not afraid to get to 2 strikes. You know, last couple of times up, he's been behind in the count, but he's got such confidence right now. And one of the main reasons he's got that confidence is because he's so good at going to right field. And that was Michael's calling card. And not just slapping the ball to right field like he did 5 or 6 years ago, driving the ball over Springer's head off the wall with 2 strikes. And that's all he's trying to do is make contact. And the ball still went all the way to the wall. And like Michael, he's hitting 300.
I'll get some activity in the Astros bullpen, and Mazara takes one inside for a ball. See Francis Marte getting to loosen. It has not been a real good night for Mike Fiers. He's allowed 2 more runs in this 4th inning, and he has 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out here. Infield is in, and so is that pitch. Mazara with a chance to pick up some RBIs here. And now Evan Gattis and Brent Strom, the pitching coach, will come out to the mound. Well, this is probably as good a time as any to take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. We have the remaining 2 games in this series. Tomorrow, another evening ball game here, and then a day game on Thursday. Then it's back home briefly, just the weekend series against the Angels before heading to the road one more time. And it will be to Atlanta for the holiday on Monday. And 3 games against the Braves in their brand new stadium. Jeff Bannister has his team at 64 and 66. They continue to oscillate back and forth a game or 2 above or below 500 and maintain relevance in this wild card chase. They have not yet made that real bold move. Conversation done though, and here is Mazara, and that pitch way up and out. It's 3-0. Things are not going to get a lot easier for Fiers after Mazara. Adrian Beltre waiting on deck. Swinging 3-0 and pops this one up into short left field. Bregman, the shortstop, wants it. And there are 2 away.
And Nomar leading the team in RBIs. He's had a couple of good opportunities the last couple of times up to add to that. That time he just got under it a little bit with the bases loaded with second and third and popped it up. Same situation for Beltre, only this time there's 2 outs instead of 1.
Well, Beltre extended his hitting streak to 6 games earlier tonight. That was with a base hit in the second inning. And takes strike 1. Fiers has had some experience working from the stretch tonight. This one blooped out toward right field. Coming on for it, Springer. He won't get to it. It drops in, and it gets 2 runs home. Beltre dumps one into right, adds 2 more runs, and the Rangers have extended the lead.
This is just one of those games for Fiers. The Rangers have obviously hit some balls hard. Gallo's home run, Elvis's double off the wall, but they've also done a little bit of this too, and especially this inning. Robinson Chirinos dumped a little one over second. Chu dumped one over short, and then Elvis ripped a double, and Adrian dropped another one in. This one drives in 2.
66 RBIs on the season. Is out there now for Joey Gallo. Look at the all-time leaders in runs batted in. Beltre closing in on Tony Perez, Sammy Sosa just a smidge further ahead.
Beltre's knocked in 66. He's been up less than 300 times. Somewhere around half a season for him.
His production this year has been incredible.
Yeah, it's been pretty much what it's been in his best years. Home run total won't be what it was in his best year, but it's been at least what it's been in a typical good year.
Weiner's second base, and Altuve gets up for it to win the inning. Rangers add 4 more runs, however, leave a man out there. Elvis Andrus with a big RBI double. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Over the weekend to another Bay Area here this week as we are in Tampa, St. Pete. 8-2 Rangers with the early lead. And you can help people affected by Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or by texting the word Harvey to 90999. By doing that, you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recovering from this disaster. And here we go now to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Beltran's been a much different hitter this year, left-handed than right-handed. Much better hitter left-handed. Right-handed, he's hit below 200. He's only hit 1 home run, knocked in 7 runs and over 100 at bats. Doesn't walk as much, strikes out more.
Batting 6th tonight for the Astros. Beltran and then Marwin Gonzalez and J.D. Davis do this inning. 2-2 the count. Rez fires in strike 3 and Beltran down looking.
Good low strike, and there's no doubt about it being a strike. That didn't touch the strike zone. That was in the strike zone. Good pitch.
So 1 away, and here is Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin grounded out in the 2nd inning. Gonzalez, we showed the numbers earlier. The numbers he has managed this year against the Rangers are staggering. Better than a 400 batting average. 4 home runs, and he hits this one on the ground to 3rd. Beltre is right there. And there are 2 away. All right, we talk about this game being meaningful for both teams. Let's take a look at the updated American League wild card standings. The Yankees with a pretty strong hold on the first one. The Twins have a game lead over the Angels. Orioles have snuck back in the conversation. Seattle, Tampa Bay, Kansas City all in the mix as well with the Rangers. It's a pretty crowded room.
But almost every team there over a week or 10-day period has gone from looks like they're out of it to being right back in it. So anything can happen. Orioles were playing bad, and all of a sudden they've started to play much better. They've won 7 out of 10, 5 in a row. That's what it takes. A winning streak.
There's a bloop out over second base, and J.D. Davis with his first hit of the night. Astros have a man on here in the 4th inning. And you never know who's going to be a factor in these things either.
Right, that hit right off the end of the bat. Yeah, Baltimore's won 5 in a row. Kansas City's lost 5 in a row. They've been shut out 4 straight times. They get shut out today. I don't think any team's ever been shut out 5 straight times.
They've gone 43 consecutive innings without scoring coming into play today.
Got 2 hit last night. Watch out. Watch out. Don't even try to catch that thing. People stood up and put their hands out like they're going to catch it. That thing hit the top of the dugout and just skipped. Don't give the bat back. Keep it.
There you go.
Give it to whoever got hit by it.
Well, an Astros fan.
You throw your bat in the stands like that, you don't deserve to get it back.
Marisnik will.
Just my opinion.
Picks up a new one. We see that with a decent amount of frequency. Did you ever throw one into the seats?
No. I guess I didn't swing hard enough. I didn't have enough power.
Oh, 0-1 on Marisnik.
The bats were so much different back then. They were more balanced. They were a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger. They never, I won't say never, but very seldom did a bat break right in half and the end went flying out toward the infield. Very seldom. You never saw that. When a bat broke, it cracked. The bats today are a little smaller, a little lighter, thinner handle. And the guys obviously are bigger and stronger. And that must just add up to bats breaking like that. I have to think there's something slightly different about the wood. I hope that guy is saving that bat for them.
Yeah, that's. I would say I'm sure That just seems like the logical move. And you understand why they wouldn't want bats in a crowd.
Yeah.
Just come retrieve it later. Out of play by Marisnik, keeps the count 1-2.
I definitely wouldn't want that guy to get mad and start swinging a bat.
Well,
That's a big guy.
I was hoping for a little more of a smile on his face, acknowledging that he's going to get that bat later. Then maybe he looks like he's in a decent
I think he
mood.
is.
Yeah.
He's going to get the bat back. He's an Astro fan with an Astro bat.
1-2 pitch. And that one lined to third, in and out of the glove of Beltre. And he will recover and throw Marisnik out.
Stay with it. He wanted an assist rather than a put out.
5-3 and the inning is done.
Yeah, a hard smash right here by Marisnik. Could have started a little rally, but Adrian knocked it down, picked it up, and calmly made the throw to first base.
Baseball is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer now during the Ford Summer Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Well, we'll go to the 5th inning. Rangers have had their way tonight with Mike Fiers, but he is gone. Francis Martes has come on out of that Astros bullpen and takes over in this 5th inning against Carlos Gomez, and the first pitch is wide.
Numbers for Martes. Hard to figure out how Martes has a 4.84 ERA. Got a 2.36 opponent's batting average, 57 strikeouts in 44 innings. He's only given up 4 home runs. His walk totals are a little bit high. He must have had a couple of really bad outings where he gave up a lot of runs, because overall his numbers aren't that bad.
He may be asked to chew up a couple of innings in this one. 2-1 the count. Carlos Gomez. Gomez 0 for 2. Rangers put 8 runs on Mike Fiers in his 4 innings of work. 2-2 the count. Good velocity from Martes, mid-90s with that fastball. He's 21 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Martes, an Astro by trade, acquired from the Marlins, along with Jake Marisnik, Colin Moran, and the Jared Kozart trade a couple years ago. 2-2 the count remains on Gomez. Martez had not pitched above Double-A prior to this season. And he's done a nice job out of this bullpen for the Astros. A 2-2, and this is swinging a ground ball in the hole short. Long throw, Bregman in time. Wow.
Boy, what a play. Bregman over the last 2 months is really becoming a frontline player. When you see him make that kind of play defensively, he came out of LSU as a shortstop, and you can see why. He's not playing shortstop regularly for the Astros because of Carlos Correa. He slipped over to third. And you know, I guess the question someone might have had was, will he hit enough to be a third baseman? And the answer is definitely yes. He's gotten hot and over 180 at bats. He's hitting about 340. He's hit 16 home runs. He's a definite frontline young player.
Gives his manager some flexibility on that left side of the infield. Napoli takes a strike. I was talking to him earlier this afternoon. When he went to LSU, one of the first things that he experienced at LSU was a hurricane. He's now living in Houston and living through this Hurricane Harvey. A little experience, and has over the years helped raise money and helped in relief efforts for all kinds of natural disasters down in that region of the country. You know, in the Gulf of Mexico, we have seen a lot of really horrific storms in recent years. None quite as horrific as this most recent one, though, as this one fouled off. 1-2 on Napoli. But I did ask him too. I said, hey, well, in the line at shortstop today, big smile creeped across his face. I said, I know you got to be more comfortable or be more excited every time you're in the lineup at short. He says, no doubt, no doubt. But he likes third. He's adjusted well there for the Astros, but he certainly relishes every opportunity he gets to play shortstop, and showing off some of the ability on that last put out of Gomez. Two balls, 2 strikes on Napoli, who walked his last time up. 0 for 1 tonight. And it's full count. Rangers got 4 runs in the third, 4 runs in the fourth. And there's a strikeout of Napoli, 2 away. Well, join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. You can go to youcaring.com/MLB supports. Texas Rangers are going to donate the proceeds from the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle from this upcoming weekend series against the Angels. That's all going to the Red Cross. The proceeds will be used for relief for the victims in the Houston area and all of South Texas from the devastating effects of this Hurricane Harvey. Breaking ball to Odor for a strike. Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve. John Radigan with us as well. We're at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The series originally scheduled to be in Houston, but transplanted due to the weather and the flooding and the devastation in Houston. It looks like the Astros may stay here through the weekend as well to play the Mets. This was originally for Houston to be a 3-game trip out to Anaheim and then back home. And it is turning into something a whole lot worse. 1-2 on Odor. The Astros are looking at playing, what is it, 18 games in 21 days on the road on a trip in which they packed for 3 days. Right?
Wow.
I mean, they packed for the 3, they left home, and they might not get back for 21 days. Swing and a miss by Odor. That is strike 3. Dallas will pick it up, go to first, and no, that one was dropped, and Odor is safe.
Well, you know, Roogie hasn't been hitting the ball the way he's capable of, but I'm going to give him big kudos right there. When you're going bad, he's 1 for 23. You strike out on a bad pitch and then run that hard to first base after a strikeout and end up being safe because you forced the throw. I don't know. I don't know many, and I haven't seen many players under those circumstances who would sprint that hard to first base and end up being safe. It's an error on the catcher, but he's got an error because Rugi sprinted to first base. Most of us would have been less than halfway to first base on that ball. So I'm going to give Rugi a lot of credit for that. That's not easy to do. You just don't feel like sprinting like that when you're not getting the base hits the way you want to. And for all the kids that are watching right now, and I know there's some kids watching. I know Sam Danzy's watching this game. That's how you hustle right there. Never walk to first base, never trot to first base, sprint to first base every time. You may say Rugi's not hitting the ball the way he's capable of, but he's hustling.
That's the one thing you can always control.
You're exactly right. That's one thing a fan can say. I would have run harder than that, and they might have. They can't say I could have made that play, I could have gotten that hit, I could have caught that ball most of the time, but they can always say they hustled.
This one inside. Odor trying for second, and he's in there with a stolen base, his 13th of the year.
You know, who knows how this game's going to turn out? It looks like the Rangers have it under control right now, but it's only the 4th inning. And the Astros are the best offensive team in baseball. They can score runs at will. And so to sprint on a strikeout, steal second base, and hopefully come in on a base hit, that run to me is more impressive than hitting a home run.
Especially all this happening with 2 outs. Chirinos, a walk and a single. He has scored 2. In a hole here, a ball and 2 strikes to Francis Martis, the 21-year-old rookie. One, 2. It was off the plate. Chirinos on a great run right now, locked in, it seems, at the plate. On base approaching 350 now. Fouls that one away, and it'll stay 2-2. Chirinos on this road trip is now 9 for 22. A home run, a triple, a couple of RBIs. He's walked 3 times. I mean, he has done just about everything. Towards second. Down in the dirt, it's a full count. Shin-Soo Choo waiting on deck, already has 2 hits in this one tonight. Payoff pitch. That's inside. That got a piece of him. So 2 men on. When Martes thought he was out of this inning a moment ago, and now suddenly 2 men aboard in the top of the order coming. Now the Rangers 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position tonight. And that's more hits with runners in scoring position in this game tonight than they had in that entire series in Oakland. We're 3 for 24 in Oakland. This ball hit well out to left field. Carrying back to the fence. It's gone! A 3-run homer for 2. And how about this 2-out rally in the 5th inning? Rangers on top 11-2.
Now, this is a 3-run rally, and it's a 3-run rally for one reason and one reason only, and that's Rougned. They ought to be high-fiving Rougned for beating out that strikeout throw to first base, because if he doesn't do that, we're out in the field right now. Nomar just did.
Well, that is a big team play by Odor, and it just absolutely mushroomed with that homer by Chu. Chu's having himself a pretty good day. 3 hits, 3 runs, 4 RBIs, and Elvis Andrus fouls one off.
Watch out, because Chu might be on the verge of doing what he did a couple of years ago in September. He's 3 for 3 with a strikeout in this game, 3 for 4 in the game with 4 runs batted in. And it wasn't that long ago that he put together about a 6-week period to remember. I think he was on base over 50% of the time.
Rangers the only team with 9 players with at least 15 homers. Chu is 17th right there. That's 4th most on the team. That's an impressive list. Gallo already hit one tonight. His 36th. And this ball stroked out toward right field. Long run, and Springer can't get to it. It rolls past him. Andrus has good speed. He'll head to third, and they'll hold him there with a stand-up triple.
I hope Elvis is okay. He took a couple of steps toward home and fell.
Well, his 4th triple this year, and now the only question is he all right?
Boy, I hope so. Single, double, and a triple in this game for Elvis. Springer's not giving up in this game. He's diving for a ball he didn't have any chance to catch. Let's see what happened to Elvis when he goes around third base. The relay throw is bobbled, and Elvis thinks, oh, maybe. Did something to his hand. I think when he put his fingers on the ground, he looked like he tripped and came down on his fingers. I might have tripped on Tony going around third base.
It's just obviously just a kind of a freak little accident, the way he put his hand out to brace himself.
Yeah, it didn't hit the ground hard, but he hit his fingers and obviously did something to one of them. Yeah, he looked like he kicked Tony's right foot. And there's the bending of the fingers.
Kevin Harmon, head athletic trainer, out there with Jeff Bannister, and you can see not comfortable, but he's okay. He and Tony Beasley able to laugh about it now. So Andrus at third base. And now Nomar Mazara.
We'll know about Elvis next inning, because that's his throwing hand.
Mazara's 0 for 3 today. Takes the ball. Nomar with a great spot here to pick up another RBI. He has 83 this year. 1-1.
Marte's had a chance for a 1-2-3 inning. Ruggie sprinted to first, forced that play at first, was safe, and it's going to be his 31st pitch now. 3 runs later and a man on third.
Balls and a strike on Mazara. A big 3-run homer. That's 2-2. Top 2 spots in the order have combined to score 5 runs. Bottom 2 spots in the order have combined to score 5 runs. There's a bouncer foul. Joey Gallo scored as well tonight. Still early. We're not even halfway through this thing. Rangers leading 11-2. Both teams had a day off yesterday. Both teams spent it in the Metroplex, a 2-2 pitch, and that is ball 3. It's a full count. I feel a bit for Martez all of a sudden. Heading toward 35 pitches in this inning.
Could have been out of the inning with about 12 pitches. You could thank Rugi for that.
You asked how his earned run average. Yeah. I don't think any of these runs are earned, are they?
No, because that was an error on Gaddis. But I really believe that Rugi was the one that forced that error. Rugi trots to first base like most people would after a strikeout. He picks up the ball, lobs it to first base, and it's an easy out. Instead, he saw where Rugi was, picked it up, had to throw it quickly. They couldn't make the play.
Now the payoff pitch. Little dribbler, first base side. And that one handled easily by Gurriel. The inning is done. Rangers will settle for 3 and leave a man at third. Oh, the big swing. Shin-Soo Choo, his 17th home run of the year. Good for 3 more runs. And this one, all Rangers. Right there, Tom. Elvis Andrus back out.
Yeah, I hate to see Elvis have to come out of the game and miss any time the way he's going right now. He came into the game hitting .298, and he's 3 for 4 in this game, so he's well over 300 now. 6 for 13 in the Oakland series, 3 for 4 now, 9 for his last 17.
Well, it's an 11-2 Rangers lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Martin Perez out there after another long break, and he's got the top of the order to deal with. George Springer, 1 for 1, was also hit by a pitch. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. It'll be Springer, Alex Bregman, and Jose Altuve. Inside Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Astros the home team, Rangers the visitors here on a neutral site game. Not unprecedented to see 2 teams forced to play a neutral site game, especially for catastrophic weather. It's just that the Houston Astros, and in recent memory, a very bad memory of a similar situation for them, and that was in 2008. Full count now on Springer, and they were displaced. Hurricane Ike had roared through Houston, and the Astros had climbed their way back into the race at that time of year. It was mid-September. Springer takes strike 3. There's one out here in the 5th.
He sure did. Martin came back in that at bat and made a great pitch on Springer. Springer knew it. Almost like Springer's looking for something out over the plate. You can see his momentum going toward the plate. And Martin zipped that on the inside corner. And Springer didn't argue. He got Gaddis to lead off the 2nd inning on pretty much the same kind of pitch.
Oh, he gets one right in there for a strike to Alex Bregman. 2 for 2 tonight. He's had a real nice evening. It's this one up the middle, and that one is through. A base hit for Bregman. He's 3 for 3. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Well, here is Jose Altuve. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Alex Bregman is over at first for the Astros, and Altuve swinging away, fouls one off. Altuve has hit well against everyone this year. A .331 average against left-handed pitching. That's actually pulled his average down. 0-2 the count. That's sort of silly. He's hitting .331 against lefties, and it's killing him. 10 for 30 in his career against Martin Perez. And tonight has a base hit and RBI. He's also rolled into a double play. 0-2. He wouldn't chase that one. Now Martin Perez has been on a real good run lately. Through 7 scoreless innings against the Angels on Thursday in the win. No walks in that one, 3 strikeouts. And gets strike 3 called on Altuve. And Altuve didn't give much of an argument either. He walks away, I think, knowing that that was strike 3.
Well, Martin has done a nice job moving his fastball around, and that has been his best pitch. Pounding the fastball into the right-hand hitters. And if he can do that, he's going to run off a lot of good games. He's already run off a bunch. He's won 4 straight starts coming into this game. And he made 2 excellent pitches this inning, one to Springer and one to Altuve.
Ground ball up the middle, off of Perez and into right field. Bregman rounds second. He'll stop at third base, and Gurriel with his 2nd Astros hit of the inning. I'm not sure where that got Perez. Looked like he maybe got a glove up and in front of it. Yeah, he did. As he retells the story.
You can see how his body, after he pitched that ball, is turned facing third base. And as a left-handed thrower with a glove on your right hand, he wasn't able to maneuver the glove to the other side to get his glove on the ball.
So 2 men aboard now, and here's Evan Gaddis, who is 0 for 2. Gaddis struck out looking in the 2nd, grounded out in the 3rd inning. In fact, hit into a double play in the 3rd inning. Hit his target. A bit off the plate. 2-0. Martin Perez made a start earlier this year against the Astros. That was on June 4th. Did not go well. Couldn't get out of the 4th inning. Gave up 6 runs. Only 5 of them earned. But has, generally speaking, had success against the Astros. There's a bouncer third base. They'll go the short way to second, force out Gurriel. The inning is done. 2 more hits, but no additional runs for the Astros. Rangers for the big lead. Time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot is $900 plus dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Rangers are hitting for Ruth Williams of Quinlan, Texas tonight. So if a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Ruth gets $900. If they happen to hit a grand slam, she would win an additional $25,000. So good luck, Ruth. Here we go to the 6th. And Will Harris is the new pitcher for Houston. So it didn't work out for Martez. Harris now charged with beating up some innings.
Yeah, that was a tough inning for Martez, who could have easily been out of the inning. 1, 2, 3. Rudy reached on the strikeout. About 25 pitches later, 3 runs were in.
Well, Harris gets Beltre, Gallo, and Gomez in this 6th inning. And this ball smacked on the ground to third base. Long throw for J.D. Davis, but it's there in time. Beltre retired. And here comes Gallo.
Harris has been on the disabled list. He was just activated on Sunday. He's been one of the most important guys out in the Astros bullpen. Never really evolved into the closer, but he certainly pitched well enough to. This year's ERA is .286 and his opponent's batting average is only .215. 5 walks in 34 innings. So he's one of those solid setup guys. That's a 2nd time in a row after Joey had walked and homered that he's hit a line shot to Altuve.
That was a rocket.
That was, both of them. I think Altuve took his glove off because it stung his hand. The 2nd ball hit right at him.
So just like that, Harris gets the first 2 hitters of the inning. Rangers with the 9-run lead, and here is Carlos Gomez. Gomez 0 for 3. Chase a breaking ball in the dirt. You mentioned it, Will Harris done a lot of things really well as an Astro. He's been with the Astros since 2015, and in 169 appearances, he has a .223 earned run average. You talk about a great reliever who kind of slides under the radar. I mean, he was a fairly average pitcher with Colorado and Arizona. But he has been dynamic for Houston.
I'm not sure what his stuff looked like before he got to Houston, but it's pretty good now. That cutter is really, I think, probably the pitch that's turned him around. He's not overpowering as far as velocity goes, but the combination of pitches along with the cutter has made him a frontline reliever.
I'd say Will Harris and Chris Davinsky. Two names Astros fans know very well. Rangers fans certainly have come to know real well. This ball hit hard down the left field line, but foul. But you wonder, outside the state of Texas, how many Major League Baseball fans really appreciate how good those two are. Harris, Chris Davinsky. Davinsky this year, 6 wins at .266 earned run average in his 52 appearances. Ken Giles is their dynamic closer, but they have some other really critical arms out there. Gomez swings and misses strike 3. Not happy with it. And it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Will Harris. We go to the last of the 6th in St. Pete.
AT&T high-speed replay. Martin Perez 2 double plays. After 2 base hits to start the game, he gets Jose Altuve to bounce into a double play. Then to end the 3rd inning, after 2 runs were already in and 3 were on base, he gets the double play of Evan Gattis. Went on to get a couple of big strikeouts. He got Altuve looking. He got Springer looking on good fastballs in. He did give up a couple of runs after a walk and a hit batter, but the 2 double plays were huge, and he's been pounding his fastball into the right-hand hitters and has 4 strikeouts in the game. So far, so good. Another good outing for Martin.
He's done a nice job. Worked with a lot of run support tonight, and falls behind 2-1 on Carlos Beltran, who is 0 for 2. It'll be Beltran, Gonzalez, and J.D. Davis in this 6th inning. Bouncer left side. Long throw for Elvis Andrus. Whoa, not in time. Beltran beat it out. And he did.
I don't know if he beat it out or not. We're gonna have to look at it. I'm gonna have to look at that one. Elvis really didn't do anything wrong, but at the same time, I think he was shocked that Beltran got down to first base that quickly.
Oh, this one is being challenged. And I agree with you on that look we just saw. You would think it'll be turned over, and it's going to be tougher to turn plays over in this series because we don't really have the super slow-mo cameras.
Yeah,
it's got to be a little more obvious, and I think that one was.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to turn it over or not, but I did think he was out.
With some limited resources for this series, technologically speaking, and so that may affect the ability in New York to make this call. That said, even with the less specific video, yeah, it did look clear enough, and indeed Beltran is out. It's a 6-3 put out, but a close one at that. So 1 out, and here is Marwin Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2. Not that we would make excuses for any player, any competitor in these contests, but we knew coming in this was, you know, this is a tough series for Houston. It's a tough series for the Rangers, but more challenging in that these guys have a lot of loved ones at home, working through this Hurricane Harvey. Gonzalez pops this one up into right field. Playable out there from Azara. 2 away. Well, I was talking to Marwin Gonzalez earlier today. Marwin has 2 young children. He has a 5-year-old girl and a 1-year-old son. And his wife is 7 months pregnant.
Oh, boy.
And they are back home in Houston in an apartment where they cannot get out. And basically just waiting for the waters to subside like so many else. He can't get there. It's a tough. I said, you are spending a lot of time on the phone, and he chuckled and said, yes, I am. Now he says everybody's fine. They're going to be okay, but obviously it's weighing on him and a lot of these guys who have very similar situations, young ones and wives, girlfriends, whatever the like, back home, just trying to wait out the storm. J.D. Davis takes one up and away from Martin Perez. Davis is 1 for 2. Perez working with pretty good tempo today and gets a ground ball shortstop. Andrews will hustle it a little more this time. They get Davis by a couple of steps. Inning is done. It's a 1-2-3 for Martin Perez, who's settling into the rocking chair tonight.
Four-game summary. We're going to show the offense that the Rangers feature tonight. Joey Gallo, 413 feet. Shin-Soo Choo with a soft liner to right, drives in Rugi. Elvis with a 2-strike rope off the wall in right field, knocks in Robinson Chirinos. Adrian, little pop-up down the line, that drove in 2. Then Shin-Soo Choo goes the other way into the seats for a 3-run homer. That is an offensive outburst tonight. 10 hits and 11 runs for the Rangers.
Well, and you can see Martin Perez looking for his 5th straight win. Mike Fiers, he has had a real tough time against the Rangers this year, and it was the story once again tonight for him.
I just looked at Mike Fiers' line. He came into the game 8-8. His ERA was 4.17. After the 8 earned runs in 4 innings, his ERA ballooned from 4.17 to 4.55. But if you take away the 3 starts that he's had against the Rangers, he has a winning record and a 3.73 ERA. It's almost a point higher, 0.8 runs higher because of his 3 outings against the Rangers. 19 runs in 14 innings.
Not gone well for him. Luke Gregerson, meanwhile, becomes the 3rd reliever of the night for Houston. His 54th appearance. Napoli takes a strike. It's 2-1. Well, this is Napoli's 4th plate appearance in this game, and this will be the 25th pitch he has seen. It's 3-1. And that's one of the strengths for Napoli when he's going well. He is seeing pitches. So he sees what he likes to hit. And it turns out one foul. It's a full count. Napoli leading off this 7th inning. Bottom 3rd of the order this inning. Rougned Odor, Robinson, Chirinos to follow. Rangers with a couple of real big innings tonight. 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. Bouncer on the ground left side. Bregman with all kinds of time. 1 away. Well, I invite you to join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey by going to youcaring.com/MLBsupports.com. Rangers are going to be donating proceeds from the 50-50 raffle this weekend to the American Red Cross from all 3 games against the Angels, and the proceeds will be used for relief for the victims in the Houston area and South Texas after this horrible storm. A lot of fans here from both sides echoing similar sentiments, all in a show of support for many folks down in South Texas suffering right now as Odor smacks one down the 3rd baseline. There was not a soul anywhere near it. He'll go to 2nd and turn there with a 1-out double.
There's a good base hit for Ruby. Good feeling on maybe a good approach to have. Don't try to pull the ball. Just go the other way, especially if there's nobody on that side of the infield.
So Odor in scoring position. First hit against Gregerson tonight. And he gets Chirinos to the plate. Chirinos has reached all 3 times. He has scored 3 times. His hit came in the 4th inning tonight, but he's also walked, been hit by a pitch. Hitting streak now at 12 games. So that hitting streak now that ties the one that Orvit Torrealba produced in 2011, longest by a Rangers catcher since Torrealba's 12-game streak. 1-1 the count. Chirinos has been a very busy man. He started 21 of the last 29 games behind the plate. He missed 4 games prior to that stretch when he sprained his left ankle on a collision here. Play at the plate. Back on July 23rd. Since then, the Rangers traded Jonathan Lucroy. He came back from his injury, and Chirinos has been the everyday guy and just performed brilliantly. Gregerson deals with Odor at second base. Ball's behind 3-1. So Gregerson having a little trouble throwing strikes here. 11 runs, 11 hits for the Rangers tonight. No errors. They've left 4 men on base. The Astros 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 really big error, or at least it turns out to be, led to 3 runs. They have stranded 6 base runners tonight. Let's see, Evan Gattis, he's the guy who was charged with the error, but that was a tough one for him to take. It was less his mistake, more the great play, the great hustle of Rougned Odor. Well, the many encouraging signs from our evening here in St. Petersburg. Tom, the first one was the crowd. I mean, really great group that was here, energetic, especially early on.
Yeah.
It'd be very cool if we see similar crowds these next couple of days.
I've been very, very pleased with that. Thankful to the fans for coming out to watch. All tickets were $10, kind of a first come, first serve for seats. So obviously a fairly priced ticket, and fans that love baseball took advantage of it.
Door off second base, the 3-2 pitch. Chirinos earns another one. Well, the Rangers have seen some pitches tonight. Myers went 4. Martez an inning. Will Harris looked real good in the 6th. Now Gregerson. And he has walked Robinson Chirinos. So the Rangers have 2 men on here with 1 out.
How about Robinson's night? He's got a walk, a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. And he scored 3 runs. Got a 12-game hitting streak. And in that hitting streak, he's hitting over 400.
Well, here's Chu again, an opportunity to drive home even more. He already has 4 RBIs tonight, including a 3-run homer. He shot the other way into left. Curveball, and he swings and misses.
Fastball out over the plate, and Chu, I think one of the better hitters at going the other way. Can hit it. He can put a charge in it the other way too.
Did him 17 home runs this year.
He's got a great chance to hit 20 home runs, knock in 70 runs, have an on-base percentage above 375, 380. That's exactly what the Rangers are looking for from him.
1-1. Off the handle, foul, and out of play. Strike 2 on Chu. Gregerson, 33 years old, from Park Ridge, Illinois. This is his 9th year in the big leagues. Spent time with the Padres. He Oakland A's. And now his 3rd year with the Astros. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Originally a 28th round selection in 2006 by the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the final year of a 3-year deal he signed with Houston. And he has been a workhorse for him over the years. It's not like whatever it is that Gaddis was putting down. And we've seen this a lot tonight. In fact, early on, Mike Fiers and Evan Gaddis, they did not seem to be on the same page at all. Odor second, Chirinos at first base. 2 bounces it back to the mound. Gregerson to second. They get the 1. Over to first. And the double play ends the threat in the 7th inning. Rangers leave a man. They will stand and stretch here at Tropicana Field. Rangers by 9.
As they play deep in the heart of Texas during the 7th inning stretch here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It is a strange location, but so far so good in the game for the Rangers. It's time for our AARP Getting to Know You segment, and we are getting to know and helping you get to know Andrew Cashner. The starter in tomorrow night's game is born and raised a Texan, born in Conroe, Texas, and currently spends much of his offseason at his house in Port O'Connor, Texas. It's a city just 1 up the coast from Rockport, which was devastated by Harvey. Amazingly, Andrew's house sustained little or no damage. He says mostly just a couple of lost shingles. Cash, another guy with a personal tie to Harvey, and another reason all these Rangers players are so concerned about the plight of all the people in Southeast Texas, guys.
Yeah, no, that was evident today, the last couple of days. You know, the victims and just everybody in South Texas very much in the thoughts of all these Rangers players, certainly all of these Astros players. That is a given. 2-strike pitch to Marisnik is low. It's 1-2. Marisnik walked, scored a run in the 3rd inning. He's also grounded out. Martin Perez at 92 pitches for the night. Those 2 and 2 on Marisnik. He has pitched real well so far through 6 innings. He has won his last 4 starts. He's gone 4 and 1 so far in the month of August. Perez trying to make it 5 this month. And a bouncer, third base. Nice, easy hop for Beltre, and Marisnick retired one away. And now at the top of the order, we take a Chevy game break and send it back to Dana Larson. Thank you, Dana. Top of the order here. 11-2, Rangers leading in this 7th inning. Springer takes a strike, and you know, we're able to get those game breaks from Dana, and able to get this game on the air and distributed to everybody watching tonight, thanks to the hard work of a lot of folks back at our technical facilities in the Woodlands, Texas, which is right there in the Houston metro area. And boy, those guys have really done quite a job these last several days. We have over 100 Fox employees who work in that facility, came to that facility on Friday. They haven't left.
Wow.
They've been there the whole time, sleeping on cots. All their family members, their pets, everybody's safe. They're there housed safely at this enormous complex where all of Fox's various regional telecasts are run. But man, what a big hat tip to all the folks back there in the Woodlands on Technology Drive, or Technology Force Drive. I can't remember what it is now. I used to live right by it. They have all been there working hard and basically living together since Friday. Three and two on George Springer.
Looking at Martine's line, 1 out in the 7th inning, and there's only been 1 out in the air. That was Gonzalez's little pop-up that he hit to right field. Other than that, it's been strikeouts or groundouts. 12 groundouts, 2 double plays, 4 strikeouts, and 1 little pop-up to right field.
Well, he is walking George Springer. Now we'll get Alex Bregman. I was mentioning earlier that he's 4-1 this month, trying to pick up his 5th win. The last Rangers pitcher to record 5 wins in a single month was Martin Perez. He went 5-0 in August of 2013. Now to Alex Bregman, and he sweeps that one right in there for a strike.
Bregman's 3 for 3 in the game. His last 177 at bats. That's a pretty long time. That's a third of a season roughly. He's hitting over 350. A long time to be hitting 350. And over those less than 200 at bats, he's had 17 doubles, 20 walks, and OPS over 1,000. In the 2015 draft, there were 2 great college shortstops. He was one of them, and Dansby Swanson was the other one. I'm not going to pretend that I know which one was a better college player, but I think that if you talk to all the organizations, maybe half of them would have taken Bregman and half of them would have taken Dansby Swanson. That's just a guess. They both got to the big leagues quickly. Swanson, in kind of a shocking trade, was traded from Arizona to Atlanta, where he's been the regular shortstop. Struggled a little bit with the bat this year. Bregman, on the other hand, got to the big leagues just as quick and is now establishing himself as a frontline player.
Well, last year played in 49 games at 264. And this year, the numbers you just talked about, I mean, putting up more impressive numbers this year. It's 3 for 3 tonight with an RBI. Shoots this one down the right side, foul, and way out of play. I mentioned earlier, Bregman went to LSU and has dealt with the same sort of catastrophic weather that they're getting now in Houston. He told me this summer that his younger brother, who was going to high school in New Mexico, spent the summer with him, and literally just left days before the storm, went back home to New Mexico. So fortunately, Bregman was very relieved that his brother had gotten out prior to any of that, and he would have been stranded there by himself. Bregman, not a huge guy, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, but has good power. Pops this one up out into short center field. Gomez coming in, and he makes the catch, 2 away.
Well, there's the second pop-up to the outfield. One to center and one to right. The only 2 balls for outs that were hit in the air. Martin, over 100 pitches. Very good chance to win his 5th straight start. And his 4 starts coming into the game, he was 4-0 with a 3.0 earned run average. And that'll go down a little bit, provided he gets out of this inning.
Well, you figure this to be his last inning at 107 pitches. Jose Altuve 1 for 3.
5 of the runs he gave up came in 1 inning, and that was one of his more impressive games, the way he came back from that first inning.
All of a sudden giving up a lot of outs in the air. Pop up to right field. He's no doubt done. Excellent job tonight. With a big lead and going to work here in the 8th inning, Elvis Andrus has had himself quite a night.
Well, he had the nice base hit to right field after having 2 strikes. Going the other way with 2 strikes. Had a double off the wall. And then he hit a ball down the right field line. Springer dove, couldn't get to it. That goes for a triple. So he's had a single in the 3rd, a double in the 4th, and a triple in the 5th. Looks like his finger is okay because he's gone out to the field and thrown fine.
So now needs just the home run against Tyler Clippard, who comes on here in the 8th inning.
Clippard's given up some home runs. Given up 9 home runs in 55 innings.
Right-hander with the windup. Elvis not happy with that foul ball. Well, there have been 10 cycles in Rangers history by 9 different players. Adrian Beltre's done it a couple of times. Carlos Gomez did it earlier this year at Globe Life Park against the Angels. One and one. The count on Andrus. Now he would, if he were to get a home run here, he'd do it in order: single, double, triple, homer. Clippard's 1-1. Bouncer down the 3rd baseline. That is a base hit. Andrus to second base, and he will hustle in there with a double. So no home run, but a 4-hit game for Andrus.
Elvis Kent coming into the game had 34 doubles. The 2 doubles tonight give him 36. And with a month to go, he's got a great chance to hit 40 doubles this year.
Tony's in scoring position. 11-2, Rangers leading. And it's another opportunity for Nomar Mazara with a runner in scoring position. Nomar is 0 for 4 in tonight's game, but has had some chances to add to his team best 83 RBIs. I guess you take your best RBI man, you put him in a spot where you hope he'll get opportunities to be productive. He has had the opportunities so far today. He pops this one way up in the air, and eventually that will be out of play. Where exactly, I don't know. Did it come down?
No idea where it is.
Went up with the catwalks. I don't think it came down. Fans still looking up.
People are still looking.
Where is it?
It's pretty good. Players are giving the staff rub downs now.
It's going to miss 1 and 2 to Mazara. Catcher's a big believer in the massage. A lot of pitchers are, but I mean, he travels his own guy,
yeah,
and his own massage table.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that talking to him, that he's obviously not the only one that does that either. Makes sense though.
Sure does.
Enough money to do it. Why wouldn't you try to be as healthy as you can possibly be?
But tight, and that one just missed 2 and 2. Yeah, he points out it's an investment. Right? It
exactly.
Makes all the sense of the world. Clippard has given up the double to Elvis. Well, goes 2 and 2 with Nomar Mazara. And that one gets away, and Andrus will head to third base. A wild pitch. No, he's just 90 feet away. Now Clippard's he's had kind of a wild trip this year. Astros acquired him from the White Sox for a player to be named later for cash considerations. That was in mid-August. It was the second trade of the year. He was dealt from the Yankees to the White Sox as part of a 7-player deal about a month earlier. Long-time National. It's 3-2 pitch. And this one lined out toward right field. Springer on the run. He won't get to it. And Mazara delivers the RBI single. It's 12-2 Rangers. And that is the 84th RBI of the year for Nomar Mazara.
Yeah, pitch tailing down and away. Nomar hit it toward the end of the bat, but found a hole out there in right center field. Big night for the first 5 hitters in the lineup. They've driven in all the runs. Bottom 2 guys in the lineup have scored 5 runs.
Now Beltre. Adrian has driven in a couple. He's 2 for 4. Now the attendance tonight, 3,485 for a game that was never scheduled to be here.
I thought there was more than that.
Another foul off of Beltre. 0-2 the count. Maybe that was just the paid attendance time. Maybe some folks snuck in.
Maybe.
It was a nice group. Back here again tomorrow for the middle game of this series. Beltre in tight on him, and it's 1-2. Then we've got a day game here on Thursday. It'll be like a 1 o'clock local time start. One, two. And Adrian fights it off. All right. Speaking of tomorrow's game, our AT&T pitching matchup tomorrow. Andrew Kashner done with his rub downs, looking for his 8th win of the year, bringing his .344 earned run averaging against Dallas Keuchel, 11-2 on the year. The former Cy Young Award winner taking the hill for the Astros. Pre-game coverage beginning at 5:30 Central Time tomorrow night. Will join us for that. 1-2 pitch. Again, Beltre stays alive. There's Keuchel. Shift on the infield, and Beltre hits into it, but a little bit foul. Another long at bat for a Rangers hitter tonight. They have forced some of these Astros pitchers to empty the chamber. Mike Byers could only go 4 innings today. Francis Martes, thanks to an error in the inning, really had his night extended in the 5th. Harris, Gregerson, now Tyler Clippard. It's 2-2. Well, if the Rangers are able to finish this one off tonight, get them to a game under 500 at 65-66. Next question is, what does that do for them in the wild card? Still so many teams right in the mix, around 3 games or so within a wild card spot in the American League.
Seattle's losing tonight in the 9th, 4-0, but Baltimore's winning, so that's going to help Baltimore. That's the problem. There's so many teams. One's playing the other. Someone's got to win. Kansas City has scored tonight, though. They didn't get shut out.
Now that's news. Line drive base hit for Beltre, is 3rd of the night.
Boy, that was a rope. You talk about a long at bat. Fouled off a bunch of pitches and then finally got one down and out over the plate and jumped all over it. And Clippard unable to come up with a pitch to get Adrian out. Grooved one. And Adrian put his best swing on it and hit a rope. Double, single, single to start the 8th.
Well, for Beltre, that gives him now 3,034 hits. Seems like just yesterday we were, excited for the big moment of getting to 3,000, and he has just blown past it. He's done, lifted for a pinch runner.
Drew Robinson will come in and play 3rd base and bat 4th.
But Strom on another trip to the mound during that break, so more advice for a pitcher today. He's had a lot of that tonight. Well, Robinson over at first base. Zara's at second. Still nobody out in the inning, and now Clippard to Joey Gallo.
Your attention, please. Pitch running for Beltre, number 18, Drew Robinson.
Gallo with a big homer in the 3rd inning, a 2-run shot, his 36th of the year. This is his first day off the disabled list. And a pitch to hit there. It's 1-1. We've mentioned a couple of times tonight the various ways in which fans can help support the cause. As we all watch helplessly from a distance what Hurricane Harvey has done to the nation's 4th largest city in Houston. A real troubling, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now. Count 1 and 2 on Gallo. And as a part of the announcement of this series moving to St. Petersburg here, Major League Baseball, the Players Association both announced a donation of $1 million to the relief efforts. Since so many players who have offered financial support and a lot back home who have offered support and materials and goods to try and help the folks down in South Florida. Bounces up to the plate this time. Mazzara will go to third on the wild pitch from Clippard.
Drew wasn't sure whether Nomar was going to go to third. He kept inching off first base towards second, but by the time he realized that Nomar was going to go to third, he didn't want to take a chance.
So they're on the corners with nobody out here in the 8th. And there's a strikeout of Gallo for the first out.
Well, Joey's had a good day. He worked a walk after being behind 0-2. Then he hit a 2-run homer. And even though he had nothing to show for it, he had 2 line shots right at Altuve out in the middle of right field before that strikeout. So made solid contact 3 times and walked.
Here's Carlos Gomez. Well, you get a crowd this small, then it doesn't take much for a small group or a couple of people for their voices to be heard clearly, and so they've been cheering by name some of these Rangers players. And now a pop-up deep short, and Bregman tucks it away. There are 2 away in the inning. We'll bring up Mike Napoli.
First baseman, Mike Napoli.
Well, other donations being made too. Jim Crane, worth pointing out, the leading figure in the Astros ownership group, announced that they will donate $4 million to the Houston hurricane relief efforts. A big gesture from the Astros as well, and you know, a lot of folks getting involved in trying to figure out how they can help. Napoli 0 for 3 with a walk, and he takes one on the inside corner, strike 1.
Give those kids down the right field line a lot of credit. They've been here from the opening bell, and they've been cheering every inning. There's about probably 20 of them down there. Clap together, cheer together. There they are.
Yeah.
Having a good time at the ballpark.
Credit. I think I'd give them tickets to tomorrow's game too.
They haven't slowed down for 3 hours.
Now pops this one up foul. Will end up in the stands. 0-2 the count. A run in this inning. Runners on the corners with 2 away. Two. I think that'd be a little distracting, especially if you're Clippard. And that came in with the average at 197. Drifts a little further south tonight. 27 home runs, though, 60 RBIs. A swing and a miss. He strikes out to in the 8th. Rangers, though, had a run. They leave a couple on the corners. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 12-2.
here at Tropicana Field, but an explosive one for the Rangers, especially offensively, as they take a big lead. And a good night for Martin Perez. He is through for the night, but he went 7 innings and he got his 5th straight win. 5-0 Martin Perez in his last 5 starts. So an awfully good run for the Rangers left-hander, and had a great night again tonight. And Martin Perez, it was all about pace. I asked his pitching coach, Doug Brocail, that before the game. He said when he's been good during this stretch, it's about his pace. One of the reasons he's been so good for the last 5 games is he also switched his delivery. Our State Farm winning combination, pace and delivery. He's back to the delivery style he had prior to 2015, guys, and it sure is working.
Yes, it is.
That's for sure, John.
He's done a nice job, or did a nice job tonight, and now gives the ball to Tony Barnett in this 8th inning. Barnett against Yulieski Gurriel, who is 2 for 3. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. Robinson stays in the game at 3rd as expected.
Take a look at our Ford pitch arsenal for Tony. Cutter and a fastball. Cutter is a fastball. Adds up to 80% just about. Curveball and a splitter.
Gurriel, you see, having a decent night tonight at the plate. That was all against Martin Perez. It's a 10-run lead for the Rangers in the 1-2. Barnett well off the plate. Gurriel, Gaddis, and Beltran here in this 8th inning. Martin Perez in his 7 innings pitched 108 pitches. So busy night, but overly taxing night. And a full count now to Gurriel.
You know who's had a good night tonight?
A lot of them.
Joe West.
There you go.
I've been watching that rectangle all night long. He has not because it's Joe back there, but every time I look at it, he's made the right call.
Up a foul out of play.
You'd have to think that when he goes back and looks at the review of this game, he's going to find out that he had about 98% of the calls. It's like Adrian Beltre, getting better with age.
There you go. He's done more than 5,000 games. There's a fly ball out toward center field. Long run for Gomez, and the former Astro reels that one in. Retires Gurriel, 1 away. We'll bring up Evan Gaddis. Gaddis 0 for 3 so far tonight. Well, that is J.D. Davis. He's been playing 3rd base tonight for the Astros, loosening up the ball.
He's pitched before. He looks like a pitcher. He doesn't look like a position player warming up.
That does look pretty good.
That guy looks like a pitcher. I don't know where he came. I don't know anything about him, but I bet he was a pitcher when he was young. Maybe in high school and college.
This ball hit foul and deep to the right side, out of play.
Saw Mitch Moreland got in a game the other day with the Red Sox. Punched out a couple, if I remember right. Mitch was a closer at Mississippi State, so there are position players who were very good pitchers.
You'll see those guys even transition over the course of their pro careers back to pitching. Fly ball out toward right field. Mazzara is there. And there are 2 away. In fact, Jason Lane, I believe, made his way all the way back after being an outfielder for many years. Couldn't find his way to a big league roster. Went back to pitching, worked his way through the minor leagues again, and made it up as a knuckleballer. Here's Derek Fisher's pinch hitting here. So Fisher comes up with 2 outs in the inning, and they give Beltran the rest of the night off. He takes strike 1. Barnett off the mark with a breaking ball. 1-1 to count. Well, Tony trying to make it a perfect 8th inning. Got a couple of fly balls. Well, Fisher will take care of the perfect inning concept. Hit by the pitch. Well, a base runner now for Barnett. Marwin Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez 0 for 3 in this one tonight. Nobody bothering to hold Fisher at first. And this one lifted out into left field. Playable for Joey Gallo. He's there. The inning is over, so a scoreless 8th inning for Tony Barnett. We go to the 9th in a 10-run game.
Ball is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more.
Well, there you go. 12-2 as we go to the 9th inning here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Rangers and Astros open a game of this series. Alex Bregman has moved over to third base for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez goes to short.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Houston, number 28, J.D. Davis.
And Derek Fisher stays in the game in left field. But wait, that's not all. J.D. Davis, a good pitcher in high school and in college, was a pitcher and third baseman. And he is on to pitch here. His first career appearance on the mound in the big leagues.
You could tell watching him warm up in the bullpen that he looked like a pitcher. He was serious. It's not a novelty or anything like that. He's coming in to try to get hitters out. Well, that's what everybody tries to do, but some of them just trying to get through the inning by lobbing the ball over the plate and waiting for 3 outs to be made.
Now Odor, the first hitter, and he'll rip this one over first. That is just foul.
Your attention, please. Additional changes for Houston.
Solid fastball, 89 miles an hour.
Third base. Derek Fisher remains in the game playing left field. Marlon Gonzalez moves to left field to shortstop.
First base umpire, Mark Wegner, on one knee right on top of that ball.
One and one the count to Odor. The double earlier. Davis, the 6th pitcher of the night for Houston. In there, 92 miles per hour. It's 2-1.
Yeah, if you're a Ranger right now, you go up there feeling like you're facing a pitcher, not a position player. Thing is he's throwing strikes too.
Well, he gets a pop up on the infield, and Odor put away for the first down of the inning.
You can join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey by visiting youcaring.com/MLB supports. The Texas Rangers will donate the proceeds from the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle to the American Red Cross from all 3 games of the upcoming home series with the Los Angeles Angels. The proceeds will be used for relief for the victims in the Houston area and South Texas from the devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey.
Ground ball shortstop, and Chirinos thrown out. 2 away here in the 9th inning. We'll go back to the top of the order for Shin-Soo Choo. Davis, I mentioned he was a great pitcher in high school. He was pitched at Elk Grove High School in California. How about this? Struck out 219 batters in 165 innings as a high school pitcher. Then he went on to play his college ball, Cal State Fullerton, very good program.
I bet that if he couldn't hit, someone would have drafted him as a pitcher. Might be wrong. But.
Well, I wonder, we hear this all the time. Guys who are courted by teams and they're watching him. Some think of him as a pitcher. Some think of him as a hitter.
Jerks and profile.
Yep. Joey Gallo. Gallo, very few. Most of them wanted Gallo as a pitcher. 1-1 to Choo.
Well, I can't even think of the kid's name. #1 pick in the draft this year. High school kid who throws 100 miles an hour and plays shortstop.
A green kid.
There's another one.
Choo fouls this one off to the other side out of play. 1-2. I saw that kid pitch. I don't want to say Tommy Green now, and I'm probably butchering it, but I saw him pitch several years ago in one of those USA events, Team USA things. I saw him both pitch and hit, and I left there totally confused, thinking to myself, I have no idea if this guy is a pitcher or a hitter. I know he's one or both.
Either one. He's whatever you want him to be. Hunter Green.
Hunter Green. Oh, there we go. Well, Choo strikes out swinging, and pretty interesting debut for Davis. Only 9 pitches needed. Last of the 9th coming. All right, bottom of the ninth inning. And Jason Grilli has come on. He'll be the third pitcher of the night for the Rangers. Grilli taking over for Tony Barnett. Now, J.D. Davis just threw a perfect top of the ninth inning for the Astros. And now looking to see if he can add to a 1-for-3 night at the plate. One and one the count. Grilli with a fastball there at 91. Featuring similar velocity that Davis just flashed at the Rangers in the top of the inning. That was pretty impressive. The guy, his first ever time on a big league mound.
Yeah, it's not surprising that he looked like a pitcher because he was a pitcher. He came in and threw strikes too.
Two on Davis. Jake Marisnick would be next, and then back to the top of the order for Houston. Tough night for them. Houston 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. They have left 8. And they just ran into Martin Perez tonight, who was really good. Martin 7 strong innings. His way around most of the trouble that he faced at any juncture of the game tonight. 2-2 pitch. That one lined over third. Base hit for Davis. Gallo had a little trouble gathering that one up, but Davis with a leadoff double in this ninth inning.
Well, take a look at J.D. Davis. Got a fastball in, maybe not a strike. Had no problem keeping it fair. Roping it down the line for a double. So a nice night. Shutout inning on the mound. And 2 for 4 with a double at the plate. Dora's going over saying, man, it's pretty good stuff you featured up there. Did you ever pitch before? I think I'd be surprised if there were hardly any major league pitchers that didn't pitch at some point in time. I mean, major league players. A lot of them.
That ball hammered down the left field line.
Might not have pitched after they got to high school or college, but virtually all of them must have pitched when they were in Little League. Youth leagues.
But to your point with Davis, the way he was thrown in the bullpen, you can tell that's a guy who had some refined mechanics at some point.
Yeah, if you came to the game and looked down there, you'd go, there's a relief pitcher warming up, not a position player. Most position players you can tell. Not that they look bad throwing, but you can just tell something about him doesn't look like a pitcher. That wasn't the case with him.
Marisnick walked in the third inning. The inning in which the Astros scored their 2 runs tonight. He was one of them. He has since grounded out a couple of times. That one gets away, and Davis will head to third base. So the Astros with a man 90 feet away. It's the first time they've had a man as far as third base since the third inning.
Confident.
Grilli's 1-2.
Good night for the hitters with men in scoring position. Rangers 7 for 18. The Astros were 3 for 7. One of the Astros' problems is 2 of the outs with men on base and scoring position were double plays.
Just now gave us the scoring on that pitch a moment ago. It was a wild pitch. Allowed Davis to get to third. Two balls, two strikes. Grilli out there trying to finish this one off. Rangers with a 10-run lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tomorrow back out here again. Another 7 o'clock start here in St. Petersburg. 6 o'clock back home in Texas, and it's a full count on Marisnik. See, tomorrow our pregame coverage will start at 5:30 Central. Thursday we wrap it up with an early game. Popped up, foul ground, might be playable. Napoli coming in, but it is Chirinos ranging way over to make the play himself. And that is out number 1. Now the top of the order for George Springer. Well, in the wild card chase, just doing a little scoreboard watching. The Twins at home tonight are leading 5-3 over the White Sox. That game is in the 7th. Not only has Kansas City scored today, Tom, they are leading in their game at home against Tampa Bay 3-2. That game also in the 7th.
And they lost 5 straight. So basically, the Orioles have switched places with them. The Orioles won tonight. Dylan Bundy threw a shutout. They won 6 in a row while Kansas City lost 5 in a row. That's a big turnaround in less than a week.
Yeah, Baltimore blanked Seattle. And that's one of those where, in terms of the scoreboard watching, that one to me seems simple. You want Seattle to win that game. Foul down the right side out of play by Springer because you play them.
Right.
You don't get another chance at Baltimore, although the way things went with the Orioles this year, I don't know if the Rangers want anything to do with Baltimore. Yankees were postponed today at home with the Indians. But at the end of the day, right now with a month to go, Rangers just have to take care of their own business. And you can scoreboard watch all you want. You're not going to get there on the help of other teams at this point of the year. Rangers need to get back to that 500 mark on their own and have a chance to play those teams ahead of them in the standings. In fact, 16 of their next 19 games are against teams ahead of them, including these Houston Astros, although they are not in the wild card race as much as they're destined to win the division. There's a strikeout of Springer. 2 gone in the 9th.
But Dylan Bundy had a complete game shutout and struck out 12 tonight.
So I don't know if I would be surprised at any of the teams in the race right now winning that final wild card. And at the same time, I don't know that I would pick any of them because we've seen them all. They all have their warts, but you could see where all of them get it done.
I agree. I think you pick them out of a hat.
Bregman sends this one to center field right there for Gomez, and this ball game is over. So Grilli comes in to get the final 3 outs of the game. And a ball game the Rangers won easily 12-2, the final score tonight. Fun to see the offense come out the way they did tonight.
Yeah, that was very nice to see in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, a 4-run inning.